Shalom, Kohalor, Yahbashim, Yahshabashim, double honors to the elder apostles and elder bishops of GMS, even the elders that came before them that taught us his truth. Shalom and salutations to all the brothers out pushing the word of truth and in sincerity of the hopeful elect tabernacle of David. To the Aquath that are listening to learn and being a pillar over us, the 144,000, one third, the hopeful elect of Israel, and the brother Yeshua back with the World War III daily update. Shalom and salutations to you all. We'll get started right here at Second Ezra 16 and their dead husbands, right? Let's see, Salakia. It's going to be in the wars. Let's start 33. Second Ezra 16:33, the virgin shall mourn having no bridegrooms, the women shall mourn having no husbands, their daughters shall mourn having no helpers. In the wars shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine. And their children shall, right? A war zone. In the war, where is it? In the wars, what? Who's going to die? Just the bridegrooms are going to die in the war. No, everybody. Fighting in Yemen. Trump's Middle East blunder explodes. Scott Ritter on the Dialogue Works 1 hour ago. Take it away. There's just a little wartime rhetoric, a little what's going on, what happens as a result of World War III, going on in your face. But even though it hasn't been announced, you think that nobody's dying.
That Donald Trump, he tweeted in 2019, he said the United States has spent $8 trillion fighting and policing the Middle East. Thousands of our great soldiers have died and been badly wounded. Millions of people have died on the other side. Going into the Middle East is the worst decision ever made.
Going into the Middle East was, you know why? I could stop right here. Let's get that. I could stop right here. Why are you going into the Middle East? It's an ambush. Where's that picture? Let's get this picture real quick. We're going where the Spirit leads. I think it's right here. Miscellaneous photos. Right? Nope. That's miscellaneous. I think it's ministry. Slovakia. And the ambush photo. We got to explain it. See, an ambush, the Most High, one of his favorite military maneuvers is the ambush, right? Now, I'm going to show you what he did to Pharaoh. Okay? This is what the Most High did to Pharaoh. He set him up in an ambush. Okay? Now, Moses, right here. Moses leads the children of Israel right into the strike zone. And through the strike zone, see, Yahushua is sitting here. Here's Yahushua. What is Yahushua doing? What you see right here, this is a scene from a great war between the Most High and Pharaoh. This is a scene. Okay? Like the Alamo. Or Little Bighorn, right? Well, this is at the Red Sea. There's a battle. A war going on between the Most High and Pharaoh got his ass whooped right here. Right? He walked right into an ambush. And the bait was the children of Israel. Moses leads them into the strike zone. Right? And here's all the weaponry getting ready to... What happened to Bonnie and Clyde? Okay, so he leads them into the strike zone with the children of Israel. Pharaoh and his horsemen or his chariots and all of that went right in there, and then what happened? Then they lost the war. How? Ambush. Okay. Now, with that being said, what's going on right now? Let's go to Joel, and let's find out what the Most High is doing. I'm going to set up an ambush. I will gather the armies of the world into the ambush. There it is again. Why? Well, because you fucked with my folks. That's why. But how are you going to get them? Well, I'm going to use that old ambush. I'm going to get everybody into the Middle East, right? And I'm going to lower the boom. There will I judge them. What do you mean judge them? Will I put them on trial? What else? Enter into judgment. Let's see. Plead. I'm going to plead. Oh, that don't sound good. Enter into judgment. Let's see. Judgment, judgment, judgment. What happens when you're judged? Then you got to, get them tried. I will bring charges against them. All right. Plead. Judge. Set out my case. We're in a courtroom here. The gavel is being struck. Enter into judgment. Execute. Okay. Where? All right. Judgment. Have been judged. Contend. That's a fight. And I contended with them there. What does that mean to contend? That's to fight. Dispute with them. Right? What's going to happen there? What do you mean that fight? This is what's going to... Here's the fight. Well, Pharaoh tried to fight the most time. What did he do? He used an ambush. Well, what is this? This is an ambush. Let's read it again. Let's read it up here. I will gather all nations, but that doesn't sound too menacing, but this. I will gather the armies of the world. That sounds like World War III. Into the ambush. Okay. Set up the what? Set the prepare. Bear with me. Prepare what? Pops up. Prepare see, the Most High, this is one of his favorite war tactics. That's Jeremiah 51:12 in the NLT. Raise the battle flag against who? Babylon, Egypt. Let's go back to the picture. All you Idumeans, really is the world. It's called World War III. Well, the whole world is going to be taken down. All right, the Edomite rulership, basically. Raise the battle flag against Babylon, the Babylonian system. Reinforce the guard and station the watchman. Prepare an ambush. For the Lord will fulfill all his plans against the rulership of the world as we know it right now. The Babylonian. Okay? Starting with America. Right? The Babylonian system's military wing. The Pentagon and that whole thing. Right? What's the city-state? D.C. District of Columbia. Okay, so anyway, the Middle East, the ambush. The United States has spent $8 trillion fighting and policing the Middle East. Thousands of our great soldiers have died or been badly wounded. Millions of people have died on the other side. Going into the Middle East, walking into an ambush was the worst decision we ever made. Pretty much.
And here is 2025 and the new Trump 2.0. How do you find the way that he's trying to deal with the Middle East?
Now you're trapped. You're in the ambush.
Stupid, asinine.
Let's go back and hear that. I was talking to him. He asked him a specific question. Ritter had to gather himself before he answered.
With the Middle East.
So,
2025 and the new Trump 2.0. How do you find the way that he's trying to deal with the Middle East?
Stupid, asinine, insane. I mean, this is extremely disappointing because that Donald Trump was updated. And look, let's just clear the air here, because there's a lot of people, out there. I told you so. I told you so. I knew best. And I'm like, well, screw you. So what? You're gloating because there's dead children? You're happy because there's dead children? I told you so. See, dead children.
their bridegrooms shall be destroyed in what? In the wars. He's describing the horrors of war, right? Not just the men, dead children. Dead children is a rallying cry for the moment, right?
People that believed in Donald Trump were trying to avoid dead children. And there's just a lot of people out there that seem to be angry that at some point in time, I and others said, hey, why don't we give this a shot? Why don't we, take him at face value and see if in fact he's serious about doing this and promoting, the concept of peace. Because you can do better than going back to 2019, Nima. You know this. You know that recently, I think it was in December, he posted video clips of Jeffrey Sachs that was condemning Benjamin Netanyahu for getting America involved in those wars that Donald Trump was condemning. You know that, and your audience knows as well. All right? That's the Donald Trump I was supporting. The man that said, I'm not going to fall into the trap of Benjamin Netanyahu. I'm not going to get America dragged into yet another Middle East conflict, this time.
Until you receive that money from Sheldon Adelson and his wife. Are we forgetting that niggas can be bought cheap?
Iran, that ends up with dead Americans, trillions of dollars expended. That's the guy that I was saying, all right, let's give this a shot. Let's see if he can do this. We always knew this was going to be tough. I mean, the United States is so deeply entwined, entangled in this Israeli mess, this Zionist philosophy, this, however you want to articulate what the state of Israel is, and how it has insinuated itself into the American body.
It's a proxy of America. Okay, just like America is at war with Iran. America is at war with Hamas or whatever. All right, they created it and they're destabilizing the region, like they have been. They're working their magic. We know what's going on. But guess what? The jig is up. Okay, you weren't able to control the region, and now you're in the middle of an ambush. Okay, let's get it. Let's get the ambush. Right here. '28. Second Ezra 15 and 28. Behold, an horrible vision, and the appearance thereof from the east. All those Arabs and the Persians are going to come together and have you surrounded, and they're going to prevail. That's what this is saying. So this is the ambush. Right? And other countries are coming in. Right? But this is it. Right? I'm just going to jump to the chase. Second Ezra 15 and 31. And then shall the dragons have the upper hand, remembering their nature. Just that right there tells you they're going to win. And if they shall turn themselves conspiring together in great power to persecute them, then these shall be troubled, bled, and keep silence to their power, and shall flee. Now, I'm not going to go in and break that all the way down, but basically it's saying that, the Arabs win. And the ambush worked, right? Because at that point, right, really the Most High just wanted to suck them all into the ambush, and then he's going to deal with everybody there. It's not really World War III at that point. It's gotcha, you lose the chess game, because World War III was more than just who's, fighting over who's going to run the NWO. It's about getting you all in the ambush, all right? And let's take a look at that ambush right before we leave, just to show one more time in a different location. This is Rev 19:19, right? Here's the ambush. Again, so Revelation 19:19, and I saw the beast and the kings of the earth and their armies gathered together to make war against him that sat on the horse. They just arrived at the ambush. See, they're all rounded up. And against his army. And what happened? And the beast was they lost. They lost the war. They got taken down in the ambush right here. And with him the false prophet that wrought miracles before him, with which he deceived them that had received the mark of the beast and that had worshipped his image. These both were cast alive in the lake of fire, burning with that, them getting blasted. Okay? With burning with brimstone. That's the Most High winning that war. Right? With that ambush. All right? And that's all we need. All right? Back here. All right? Yep. Let's get that little statement. Where'd it go? Yes. Yes, sir, I agree. Going into the Middle East was the worst decision Babylon ever made. All right, so with that, we hope that the elect will edify you, brothers and Jesus. Shalom.